Welcome to this explainer. Okay, imagine this. You're eating a healthy staple food every single day. You're completely convinced it's good for you, right? Only to find out it's actually quietly sabotaging your digestion and causing chronic bloating. Wild, right? Well, today we're diving deep into the microscopic universe of your gut microbiome to uncover exactly why this happens. We're going to blend the absolute latest in clinical science with timeless Ayurvedic principles to help you restore balance and, honestly, take total control of your internal ecosystem. Let's get into it.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll be covering the hidden microbial world, the villains of gut health, the cleanse myth, the fermented food fix, the fiber paradox, and wrapping up with movement and mindfulness. Starting off with Section 1, the hidden microbial world, trillions of tiny pets. So what exactly is the microbiome? Basically, it's the aggregate microbial biology in our bodies. It acts as this incredibly dynamic, malleable ecosystem. And, both ancient Ayurvedic texts and modern science tell us pretty much the same thing here. Different microbes specialize in completely different regions of your body. Think of it like a map. You've got the highly acidic stomach up top, where the microbial communities rely on nutrients directly from you, the host. Then, as you move down into the small intestine, your immune system is super active, constantly monitoring the barrier. Finally, you reach the dense, nutrient-depleted colon, which is just absolutely packed with a thriving community of microbes fermenting whatever's left over. Actually, get this, your gut microbiome even manufactures neurotransmitters that directly impact your brain function and mood. It's like a second brain down there. To put things in perspective, let's look at traditional populations, like the Hadza hunter-gatherers. They intuitively rely on earth-grown elements, feeding their microbiome a massive amount of complex fiber. We're talking somewhere between 100 and 150 grams every single day. They eat this way simply because it's what's available, keeping them in total natural harmony with their environment. On the flip side, we have the standard American diet. Care to guess the fiber intake? A measly 15 grams. We are literally leaving our microbes starving. And because of that, our internal ecosystems are rapidly losing their diversity. This massive disconnect actually sets the stage for that healthy staple food mystery we're going to unravel in just a bit. To see just how serious this loss of balance really is, we can look at a pretty mind-blowing multi-generational mouse study. When researchers switched mice to a low-fiber, high-fat Western diet, they witnessed this terrifying progressive deterioration. Generation 1 lost a little bit of diversity. By generations 2 and 3, things were looking much, much worse. And by generation 4, their microbiome was just a tiny fraction of what it originally was. The craziest part is that they had established a new, heavily depleted baseline that was incredibly hard to reverse, even when researchers tried feeding them a healthy diet again. Moving on to Section 2, villains of gut health, processed foods and fake sugars. Okay, so be honest, do you think non-nutritive, zero-calorie sweeteners are a harmless diet hack? Just a free pass to satisfy your sweet tooth? Well, we really need to think about how our gut actually handles these highly foreign molecules. I mean, human beings have consumed natural elements like glucose and fructose for our entire existence. But today, we're throwing back things like aspartame and sucralose in completely unnatural concentrations. This profoundly disrupts the natural harmony, or what Ayurveda would call the dosha of the gut. And clinical observations highlight some major modern threats to this delicate balance. Take emulsifiers, for example. They're used in processed foods to make them shelf-stable, but they can actually break down your gut's protective mucus layer. Then you have those artificial sweeteners we just talked about, which can negatively impact your beneficial microbes and potentially drive metabolic syndrome. Plus, here's a really wild fact. When you don't eat enough complex fibers, your starving bacteria actually start eating your host mucus. They literally consume the lining of your gut, which triggers deep systemic inflammation. And simple sugars? They just spike your blood sugar immediately, completely bypassing the microbes waiting down in your colon that actually need the fuel. That brings us to Section 3, the cleanse myth, why flushing fails. So when facing all these frustrating gut issues, a lot of folks turn to extreme wellness trends, right? Things like digestive cleanses or flushes. But Dr. Justin Sonnenberg has a pretty stark warning about this. He actually compares gut cleanses to playing Russian roulette. Why? Because when you aggressively flush out your gut, you wash away the resident microbial community, the good guys, right alongside the bad. You're basically leaving the repopulation of your entire biological ecosystem strictly up to chance. You have absolutely zero control over what new microbes are going to swoop in and take over that empty space. Definitely not what you want. Now for Section 4, the fermented food fix, the Stanford clinical trial. So instead of flushing everything out, Let's look at a landmark clinical trial out of Stanford that tested how we can safely rebuild our internal ecosystem. Researchers pitted a high-fiber diet against a diet packed with live fermented foods. Going into it, they were absolutely convinced that fiber was going to be the undisputed winner. But the results shocked them, and honestly, effectively validated ancient practices of food preparation. The high-fermented food diet led to a consistent, widespread increase in microbiome diversity and a universal decrease in inflammation. Meanwhile, the high-fiber diet showed super individualized responses. Some people even experienced delayed benefits or downright uncomfortable issues. Let's break down that fermented food group first. By eating ancient traditional staples, we're talking kimchi, sauerkraut, kefir, and unsweetened yogurt, these participants got safe, steady environmental exposure to live microbes. In just 6 weeks, this group saw a massive bloom in microbial diversity and a universal drop in their inflammatome. Basically, that's just a fancy word for a wide array of inflammatory markers in the blood. So modern science is proving exactly what ancient traditions have known for centuries. These fermented allies are absolute rock stars at universally healing and restoring your gut's balance. All right, Section 5, the fiber paradox, why healthy carbs can hurt. Okay, here is the paradox we hinted at earlier. This is the big reveal. You can eat a healthy staple, like complex carbohydrates, every single day, completely convinced you're doing the right thing for your body. But if your microbiome is already heavily depleted, eating that fiber can actually trigger inflammation. The data from the study revealed 3 completely distinct responses to the high-fiber diet. Some people saw decreased inflammation, some saw no change whatsoever, and a third group, surprisingly, saw increased inflammation. Basically, you're feeding a system that lacks the specific microbial machinery. Keystone strains like Akkermansia needed to break that food down. The very food meant to heal you is quietly sabotaging your digestion. And this brilliantly illustrates why experts emphasize starting slow. It's a concept that perfectly aligns with Ayurvedic principles of gentle, gradual transitions for the body. True, mindful, holistic healing takes time. You can't just go from 0 to 100 overnight. You need to gradually ramp up your intake of both fiber and fermented foods. This gives your trillions of tiny pets the time they actually need to adapt, multiply, swap out community members, and most importantly, it prevents you from experiencing severe bloating and totally unnecessary digestive distress. Let's head into our final section, Section 6, Movement and Mindfulness, the physical side of digestion. Optimizing your gut health isn't just about molecular science and what you put on your plate. It's also highly physical. Yoga instructor Adrienne suggests this really beautiful, accessible approach, starting with the 2 G's, grace and gratitude. First up, grace. Think about it. We have this terrible habit of holding on our stomachs all day long. You've got to stop clenching your lower belly and literally just let it hang loose. If you sit hunched over and collapsed all day, your internal organs just get totally smooshed together. Let that belly soften. Second is gratitude. Tuning into the nourishment you receive helps calm your entire nervous system. It beautifully shifts you out of a stressed out fight or flight mode and into a calm rest and digest state. From that place of gratitude, we can use specific physical mechanics to aid our natural motility. Step 1 is deep, directional belly breathing. When you breathe in, send that breath all the way down so you can physically feel your belly expand and your diaphragm lower. Step 2 is utilizing spinal twists. Twisting safely compresses your lower belly and your obliques, which acts almost like a targeted, mindful massage for your entire digestive tract. And finally, step 3 is releasing that twist. This stimulates fresh, oxygen-rich blood rushing back into those organs, creating much-needed space and giving your natural digestion a gentle boost. Remember, you aren't just eating for one anymore. You are feeding an entire universe inside of you. By combining the timeless wisdom of mindful movement and traditional fermented foods with the latest clinical science, you can take active control of your internal ecosystem. So, I'm going to leave you with a question to ponder. If your microbiome drives your mood, your metabolism, and your immunity, what are you going to feed your trillion pets tomorrow to keep them thriving? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.